What's up, guys? In the new Operation Underground map, DICE has utilized water and explosive barrels to bring an interesting dynamic to the gameplay. With a couple of the passageways on the map being flooded, DICE has forced players to swim in these narrow passageways to get a better angle when attacking enemies on the railroad tracks. If you use these flooded hallways properly, you very much can catch the enemy team off guard. However, if you try pushing too far when swimming, you may find yourself running out of air and drowning instead of taking advantage of what could have been an epic flank. On Conquest, the two tunnels fill with water just after the match begins, and on Breakthrough, the tunnels fill once the attacking team pushes towards the second sector that's on the railroad tracks. If you're the German team, the first flooded tunnel will be on your left, and of course the Allies, the tunnel will be on your right. There are 4 doors to this tunnel that lead you back towards the very heart of the map where the railroad tracks are on. If you're pushing from the Allies' position and take the first door on your right, you can dive into the water hitting the crouch button, which is the B button on Xbox, and if you swim efficiently, you very much can make it to the second door when your player is beginning to take damage for lack of having air. You then can wait momentarily for your health to recover, and then you can breach the doors and flank the enemy team. If you want to try to push your boundaries and make it to the third or fourth door, you can dive back into the water from the position of the second door and swim past the health station. You'll notice that there's piping on the ceiling that you can follow, and once you turn a little bit to your left and go through the double doorway that has light peering from above, you can surface here and catch your breath and either go back behind you and take a quick right and go through the second door, or continue swimming and find yourself towards the fourth door. Right now, this tunnel doesn't stay flooded very long, so unless you're moving quickly without skipping a beat, you can make it from the first door to the fourth door before the tunnel drains of all of its water, but we'll have to wait and see if DICE keeps the tunnel flooded a little bit longer in the future, so definitely keep an eye out for that. And of course, if you're playing on the German side, the same thing will work from you, but just for the opposite end. So the fourth door is the first door for the Germans on the left, and you can swim all the way up with the higher ceiling and go a little bit further up, and if you push it, you can make it to what would be on the German side the third door, and then you could catch your breath from there and then push all the way to the final door, which will be the first door where the Allies would flank in. The second tunnel is right under the middle of the map. You notice it once the water recedes from the first flooded tunnel. It's right between the second and third doors, right by the medic and supply station. Now this tunnel on Conquest, from what I've seen so far, remains flooded for the whole match, and on Operations will begin to drain its water later on during the game. This tunnel will give you a one-way shot right across the middle of the map, something that you won't find that is as direct and secure given that you survived the swim. It is possible to take one breath if you swim efficiently and get from one end to the other end of the tunnel, but you will take a little bit too much damage for your health to regenerate passively back up to 100%, so you will have to use your bandages to restore your health back up to 100. If you don't want your health to go down that low, there are 2 areas off to the side of this tunnel where there is a pocket of air for you to catch your breath. Going to either one of these that are just off to the side of each of the entrances to this underground passageway will keep your damage from going too low where your health won't regenerate passively back up to 100. Just be cautious coming out of the water, whether it's to catch your breath before diving back in or if you're exiting one of the tunnels, because there could be a player waiting for you once you begin to surface up. Do also remember that even though you can't shoot your pistol underwater, the first tunnel does have that large passageway with a higher ceiling for you to surface up and catch your breath on, and there could be very much players who are in there with their pistols to pick you off, so do be aware of that, and also watch out when the water is rising, because there's still enough time for you to use your pistol and put shots at enemy players who may be trying to swim underwater already, so do keep that in mind when you are swimming in these underwater tunnels. Another dynamic to this map are the red barrels that are full of fuel. You can find these barrels scattered across the map, but the one place I think has the best opportunity to get a lot of kills are the barrels that sit just at the middle of the map on the overpass, right above the railroad tracks with all the stationary guns. You'll see 2 sets of these red barrels, making it a huge opportunity to get a lot of kills if you're able to cause these barrels to explode with enemies nearby. Just make sure if you're defending the spot to blow up these barrels so enemies can't use it against you, or an unsuspecting teammate comes around and wants to test out these barrels to see how much damage they can do and ends up wiping you and his whole teammates out in the process of doing so. So yeah, I would suggest probably blowing up these barrels if you get there before the enemies do. You also could leave some dynamite on the barrels and then push out from the overpass and just wait for the enemy team to all huddle around those barrels by the machine guns and blow them up doing that. But if the enemy team makes it to the overpass before you, you very much could try the underwater flank I made mention earlier, getting yourself to the furthest door behind enemy lines, and try then jumping on the railroad car that is just behind the overpass, and then throw some dynamite in from there. I'm still working on perfecting this, but I have noticed that the enemies focus more on the stairs and on the area of the tunnel where the rest of your teammates are pushing from. So if you get behind them and jump on the railroad carts and you throw some dynamite in, you might very well get one of those epic only in Battlefield moments that we're all trying to get. So those are my little helpful tips for the underwater tunnels and some of the explosive barrels that I think will be really epic on this map. Feel free to let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. But that is it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin', and I'll catch you guys again later.